Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Ed English, bass player extraordinaire, member of the Beaker Brothers, which is in the midst of their farewell tour. But as the Beaker Brothers are saying farewell, we are saying hello because...
Big news, Dennis.
That's right. Ed English is not just going to be a Culture Crawl guest on KCCK moving forward. You have graciously acquiesced to join our weird, dysfunctional musical family.
What a group.
And be the new host of the Friday Blues.
Oh, I'm so excited. We've been working on this for a couple of months now. It feels like it's only been a couple of weeks, but things happen so fast around here. I was contacted after Big Mo said that he was going to be wrapping up his Friday Night Blues show, and I was asked pretty much out of the clear blue sky if I would like to
I just sent you a text that said, do you have a minute to talk on the phone?
It's really funny because back in the spring I was here with Eric Johnson from Summer of the Arts, who were huge supporters of the Beaker Brothers band. And I had mentioned at that time that last year was kind of a finishing up year, that there was a lot going on that marked the ends of things at the end of 2025, and that 2026 was a new beginning year. And little did I suspect that I would have such a new beginning coming on board just next week. It sounds like we're going to get started on Friday, July 10th with the Big Shoes Friday Blues Show, where I'll be playing classic and contemporary blues and roots music, much in the tradition of the great Big Mo himself, John Heim, and Bobby D, of course, the dean of blues disc jockeys in the great state. So I feel really honored to have been invited to join a stable of such amazing talent. And then the cast of characters here already that have been helping me get oriented and teaching me what to do. Ron Atkins and Hollis and the whole gang, Michelle, and of course you, our fearless leader. I believe George Dorman may have been the one who actually dropped my name, so I have already given George my special thank you.
Yeah, it was one of those things where as soon as George said it, or maybe it was Bob Stewart. Now I can't remember. But it was somebody said, "Well, do you think Ed English would do this?" And I just, yes, that is who we must have.
Let's talk to him.
And fortunately, you were willing to take on the obligation, because it is a pretty good obligation. I mean, you're committing. I mean, we have some flexibility, but generally speaking, we're asking you to give up every Friday night for the rest of your natural life.
Yeah, and that'll be just fine, based on some of the things I've learned about how we can do time traveling on the radio and all.
Yeah.
The first couple of weeks will be live for sure. I've got the 10th and the 17th slated as in studios, because I want to make sure to do shout outs, and I want to be able to say hello to people who want to check in on me and really get the thing started. It was so funny walking down the hallway that very first afternoon to come talk to you. I was reminded of being on college campuses when I was a little kid. My parents both worked on college campuses during my formative years, and I was able to attend hootenannies and see live music events from as early as I can remember, first and second grade especially. We had Riche Havens stay in our house, folk icon, during an upstate tour where we were living in Oneonta, New York at the time, and my dad was the host of the Wesley House for the State University of New York and Hartwig College in Oneonta. And we had this guy stop in, and he stayed with us Friday night and Saturday night while he played the Thursday night hootenanny, and then a gig on Friday and a gig on Saturday before he drove back to Bed-Stuy on Sunday. And when he came back to Iowa City in 1970 or 71, whichever it was, my mom picked him up at the airport. And every time he had come to the area, one of the Englishes would show up to welcome him back to the area. And I got a chance to talk to him after a gig in, I think it was the year 2000 in Atlantic City. And he said, "Oh, how's your mom?" And I said, "Oh, she's fine. She's just a huge fan of Riche Havens." And I just have such great early memories of seeing live music and being part of it. And many of those were blues performances. And of course, I learned how to play the electric bass guitar pretty much with the Blues Instigators back in the early 90s, learning how to play one of America's great art forms. And it's just so exciting to get the opportunity to come and share some of the things I know about the blues and roots music with what's going on in the industry. I keep my finger on the pulse. I subscribe to a bunch of blues newsletters and magazines, and it just feels like a pretty good coming together of preparation and opportunity, which I think they call luck. And so,
luck and timing.
I appreciate the invitation, Dennis.
Well, going back to those early days with the Blues Instigators, I mean, that was a case where all of you, including Kevin, were learning kind of as you went.
Oh, exactly. 5 of 7 of us had never been in a band before, and it was interesting because Kevin's influences come from the shouting tradition of gospel singing and of preaching, kind of the after hours gospel of the speakeasy scene. And the other guys in the band were all really great musicians, and everybody was really excited to be in a band together. But I was 10 years older than everybody, so being called Uncle Ed was kind of a natural.
Now we know how that started.
Well,
yeah.
my niece and nephew started it, but it just became a natural to call myself Uncle Ed. And many people know I spell it with an LED in tribute to the Led Zeppelin band. But Uncle Ed is probably what most of the promo will look like as we get started here with the Big Shoes Friday Blues show with Ed Inglis. I'm so excited to get started. And the training has been really fun. And the library here is just amazing. I've gotten some good input from Bobby D, and of course spent some time with Big Mo as we were getting ready to make this transition, and we just really couldn't do it any sooner than this. So I appreciate your patience.
Well, you're a working musician, and the Beaker Brothers have a really busy schedule. This is your last year of kind of working as, I call it, a full-time band.
Yeah, that's an ongoing concern, I think, is how we're referring to it. We talked about that last fall, and it's so funny because it's kind of like I don't know if you've ever been through a divorce or not, but it seems like once the intention to divorce takes place, then everybody starts being way more diplomatic and nice with each other, and maybe we should have announced it last year.
Maybe you should have announced 5 years ago you were going to quit.
There's a lot of good stuff coming up with the Beaker Brothers band, and I'm also still playing with the Tanya English band and with Johnny Kilowatt.
I was just we hadn't even talked about that, but as we talk about your experience with the blues, not just one band, but you've had 30 years in several bands to experience different aspects of it. Of course, the Tanya English band.
15 years already.
Yeah, your wife Tanya has a totally different style than John does in the Kilowatt band, and
yeah, it's been really great to see everyone's professional development over the years. I remember some of those early rehearsals when Kevin and Jeff and Dan and Matt and Eric and we were all just trying to figure out, is that exactly the same song that we just played? Because a lot of the form of the blues, it can be
similar.
It can be limiting for some. And so when you get some of these new talent that are coming along, like Mike Zito and Eric Gales and the guys that are just blowing the lid off of the art form, Danielle Nicole is another great example, who have really kept the blues fresh moving forward. And there's a lot of that I'll get a chance to play. And I've been in contact with Bob Stewart about some of the other discs that are coming in, and it's a very exciting time, and I'm so excited for people to get used to having me on the air with them as I get used to being on the air with them as well.
One of my favorite things about the Friday Blues has always been the Beaker Street Hour that John created after hanging out with your band for a while after the when the Beaker Brothers hit and were such a big hit. And John came to me one time. He says, they're having so much fun with that. There's a lot of music that they can't play. In their sets,
too obscure or too difficult.
Yeah, the songs are too long. What if we did our own tribute to the Beaker Street show?
So interesting.
And he, had the chance to talk with Clyde Clifford over the years. And when he retired, I thought, oh my gosh, there's no way that we will ever find anyone who could jump in and do the Beaker Hour. And yet, the perfect person presented himself.
Well, as a big fan of the show, I remember getting on, when I first got on social media, now we're 15 years ago, one of the first people I sought out was Trish, Clyde's wife, and have been in communication with her over the years and let her know that John Heim, a.k.a. Big Mo, was wrapping it up, but that we were going to continue. And she said, oh, that's great. I'll make sure to tell Dale. And it just feels really good to know that people are aware of the tribute that is being paid to the tradition of Beaker Street, these many years later, even though Clyde is still on the air.
He still does his own version of it, too, that you should seek out if you want to, yeah.
You can find him at arkansasrocks.com. I don't think he'd mind that plug at all. But he's just a living legend and still going pretty strong. He's had some issues, but Who hasn't at these late dates in our lives? So it's fun having the opportunity to look at this new endeavor. I'm a huge KCCK fan. I was thinking about this the other day. I was trying to remember when I started listening to KCCK. And as I think back, I just don't really remember being without it. It's just one of those things that's, what radio station do I hit when I get in the car? It's usually KCCK because I like the music and I like the personalities, and to get the opportunity to join that stable is so exciting. So
we've been friends for a long time, and I guess that's it. Sooner or later, if you're my friend, you're going to get sucked into doing something at KCCK.
Yeah, we'll see at Blues Fest or Jazz Fest this weekend too, as Iowa City explodes with one of the greatest lineups we've ever had for Iowa City Jazz Fest this weekend. I'm so excited for the entire start to finish of what's programmed for the weekend. It's just
this interview will air just ahead of the Jazz Fest the first time. Might go up a second time, so if the Jazz Fest has already happened, everything that Ed said, just say it in the past tense. Everything was super. It was one of the greatest things ever.
That was. Exactly. It was one of the best we ever had.
So July 10th is the first day of the Big Shoes Friday Blues with Uncle Ed. Looking forward to it. And again, thanks for being here with me today, and looking forward to a fun and exciting raft of shows for years to come.
Oh, thanks for all you do to make this all happen, Dennis. I sure appreciate it. I feel like I do have some big shoes to fill, so we'll get started on that next week.
All right, thanks again. You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.